I'm Dan Thomas, joined by Craig Burley and Stevie Nicol. There's only one place to start today's show, and that is at Old Trafford. Manchester United take on Wolverhampton Wanderers, of course, as it finishes Manchester United 1, Wolves 0. For more on this, let's welcome in, shall we, Nader Manua. Craig, there's only one place, isn't there, to start?
Well, 23 efforts from Wolves away from home. At Man United, a team who are going to be fighting for the top four. With a new manager after the shambles of Lopetegui going, with the lack of finances, I think that tells you all you need to know about this United performance. Right. There is no explanation here. I don't care if you go on social media and you find people trying to give you a reason why this should not have been a penalty. Ignore it. We all sat there, as soon as we saw it, it's a penalty. Unless he takes some of the ball, it is a complete stonewall penalty. This, Howard Webb is going to have to be addressing this, I think, either tonight or tomorrow morning. You can't just clean somebody out like this in the box. It doesn't matter if you're a goalkeeper. It doesn't matter if you're wearing a pair of gloves. The laws are the same. The rules are the same. I think we're all in agreement. To not, and I don't know who the VAR was, to not send the referee to the monitor again in the Premier League that's worth billions, and a side Wolves that might have a tough season in terms of they were fighting relegation last year. It's inexcusable beyond belief. I've got no words to describe how you can sit there and go, move on.
This is why VAR's there, isn't it?
You know the thing that I can't get my head round? It's not that somebody can make such a bad error, right? Because it happens and it's possible. But it's not just one person in the booth. How can more than one person agree that there's no way this is a penalty? Because the only reason you don't get the ref involved is if you look at it and you go, there's no way, there's no point. How is that it's just impossible. Now, I've never, ever asked for anybody to lose their job. But you cannot. Whoever was in charge of the final decision in the VAR box should never, ever be allowed to be in that position again. Because you can't go and learn. You can't. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Go and take a course. They've probably spent 20 years as a referee, and if you, after 20 years, don't see that as a foul or a penalty kick, then you're in the wrong job. You're just in the wrong job.
Nadim, if that's at Molineux, is it a penalty?
Dan, don't try and drag me into that. It's a weird decision, and also, like, why is the ref not seeing that? I think everyone that was watching the game real time could sense, well, that's probably going to be a penalty kick. And then you see the replay back again, feels like a penalty kick, and it's just so heavy. Like, he's ended up like headbutting him. He's headbutting him. He's hit him with his arm. The guy's laying on the floor, and the ref's like, well, I guess that was all fine. Like, it doesn't get any better the more you look at it. And to think that, like, he's not even the guy that headed the ball. It's just that he's just been assaulted. He's been assaulted in the box, just trying to mind his own business. And I really, really don't get it. And I think, as Stevie's saying there, questions should be asked, because it's not just one person in the booth. There are assistants in there as well. I think if the team can't get that sort of decision right, then maybe we're missing something. Because if they're going to tell us tomorrow that that was the right decision, and here's the why, well, the game that we watch and we think we know and understand clearly is a different one to the one that they see themselves.
Not just that Nedum's right, it's not just that there's a little bit of contact. The guy, he's actually flattened the guy. I mean, completely flattened him. It's almost a head-on-head contact with arms up at everything, and, you know, I mean, Stevie's right. We're probably going to be talking about it in the Bundesliga this season. We're probably going to be talking about it in La Liga. We might not be talking about something as bad as this, but we're going to be talking about some dodgy decisions. However, you can't have that. You can't have this. You can't have this anomaly where it's so obvious that somebody's going, no, this is not. Because, as Stevie said, there's now no hope. Because that same guy, next week or all season, you're going, right, how's he going to interpret penalties, big calls, dangerous plays? How, if he can't interpret that as a really, really aggressive challenge by the goalkeeper, gets nowhere near the ball, flattens the striker, clears him out, no penalty, no even need to trot over to the monitor. And don't tell me this, oh, we couldn't send him to the monitor because that would waste too much time. We're playing bloody 15 minutes of injury time these days. The start of this season, I just...
I haven't got anything. I haven't got any angle to try and get this.
There's no devil's advocate here.
There is nothing.
There is nothing.
There is nothing. And I suppose why Wolves will be even more bitter leaving was the fact that they were the better team.
Yeah, look, United have won a watch here. They were not good. They were completely outplayed for long periods from a side that, you know, obviously this club are a little bit in disarray. Although Gary O'Neill coming in, Gary O'Neill was very unfortunate to be sacked last year after what he did at Bournemouth. But he got sacked. But once again, you know, let's look at Mount struggled. Rashford not the same through the middle. Fernandes not great. Casemiro looked a little bit laboured. And our old friend Anthony on the right-hand side, Mr. Flash in the pan, once again got the hook. So no, the only reason United... There's two reasons United have won 3 points here. One, the officials, and two, Wolves continue to struggle to get somebody to put the ball in the net. For all Cunha's great play, the finishing wasn't great.
Why were they so flat, United, Steve?
To be honest, when I'm watching it, I was thinking, this looks like Manchester United of last year. They had, particularly at home, they had a lot of performances where they ended up winning the game where they were outplayed and they weren't the best side. And you and I were arguing about the defence a couple of weeks ago. And you can't say defensively they were great because, again, you have to put it down to Wolves' lack of finishing. And it's really Wolves' fault, you know. I really... If I'm Ten Hag, I'm looking for positives here. And the only positive is, as I said, the one from they had last year. This team just keeps grinding. Because that's all they did today. They just ground it out. They didn't... I don't remember other than the goal, there wasn't one chance that I would say they should have scored. Or was there any particularly great play? Any time they got anywhere near Wolves' box, Wolves had turned the ball over and it was a break. Now, listen, I grew up in an era when you went to Old Trafford, they had you pinned in. This Manchester United that has carried on from last year is still more of a counter-attacking side. And it's a counter-attacking side that doesn't have a spearhead. Because Rashford showed us today that he's not the same player through the middle. All the talk about Garnacho coming off the bench, particularly in the last season, and showing us what he's got, well, he was given an opportunity and he failed miserably. Again, as did Anthony on the other side. So it's a victory for United, but it's down to just grinding it out and being fortunate that the opposition couldn't take any of the chances that they created.
I think the